Yeah, thankful and really thankful to Dave Benedict and the president and UConn and the state and all of our fans. Just grateful and thankful, for all the trust they put in me and obviously the opportunity to be here and be rewarded. The way that they've rewarded me and my family just means a lot. It's humbling. So.
How important was it to you to make sure that the assistants were rewarded as well as you?
Yeah, I got a great staff, and I've always, my whole career, everywhere, you can literally take every place I've ever coached. And I think every place that I've been, it's like, talked about how great a staff I had, whether I was at Wagner, where I had my brother, and Bashir Mason, who's a very successful Division I head coach, and Luke Murray was with me back then. I mean, I had that level of a staff around me at Wagner, so it's just been a huge key to the success my programs have everywhere I've been. I've had amazing people, and we've made it really difficult for people to leave, which is great.
Could you just describe what it's been like the past couple months between first the Lakers pursuit and then working through this?
Yeah, I mean, you could really just dump it all into really the last 2 years, just the championship runs and how that summer flew by so quickly with everything that comes with winning it, and then following the amazing season up, and then you get into this off season, and you're dealing with that. You got so many players going to the NBA, and then you're doing so many things again. So it's flown by. It's been a lot, but it's been fun.
Dan, can you just talk about your family legacy and how you're setting up generations of your family? Just how proud you must be of signing such a big deal, really taking care of your family long term.
Yeah, I do, because it's my career has been unique. I think for college coaches, just the trajectory of it. Going and being a college coach and then going back to the high school level as a head coach, and then having to literally earn your way up through the business. As a high school coach, as a low Division I coach, as a mid-major coach, and so my family has seen the grind, and my wife and my two sons. Been able to model for them, what it's like to work hard through your 20s, 30s, 40s, and as you're hitting your 50s now, you're at the top of your profession. Sorry.
Do you remember when you made your first head coaching job? It's at St. Benedict's, right?
St. Benedict's, yeah. High school, head high school coach. Yeah. So that was only 15 years ago. And so I'm proud of it. I think it's a great example for people. It's a great example for my family and my sons. So I'm proud of it.
Dan, why do you think you and your assistants complement each other so well? I'm sure each of you have a lot in common.
Yeah.
They all bring a unique set of traits, I imagine. If you could just elaborate on what each guy brings to the operation.
Yeah. Well, I'm just so careful about who I hire. I always have been. So I think we share the same obsession with our work. Yeah, particularly with Luke and Kamani, I think we all obsess. I work really well with staff members that obsess over their job the way I do. So that's a great starting point. I would say with Luke and Kamani, they're not. It's not any areas where they're weak. Like, they can recruit, and they can help develop player skills, and then they're real sound coaches. They're great with building relationships with the players and the people around the players to earn the trust. They understand psychology and motivation. They work well. They're good communicators, so they do a really good job, working with other staff members. Those two guys are just super well-rounded. And then Tom's a vet. I mean, Tom's a 4-time national champ and with head coaching experience. So he balances off just Tom's personality really, it blends well with the three, with us three other guys, because Tom is like that voice of reason.
To follow up on that, is it harder to put together a staff or a team?
It's always hard for me to put together a staff because I think there's not a lot of people that can work for me. Just the intensity of how we go about our business, the way we run the program, it's a different intensity level. I'm tough on the people that play for me and work for me. I'm demanding. So, yeah, I mean, it's always hard for me to find people to hire. They have to share that kind of same obsession, and they can't be looking for life balance.
With that in mind, Dan, I know the last couple of summers, there have been times where you thought the team wasn't looking very good, and obviously it ended up pretty well. But has that happened so far this summer? Where a long way to go, that kind of stuff. Yeah, the team. I think I initially, whenever I get around the team, I immediately see the vulnerabilities that that are concerning. But I just think overall we're of a similar talent level in terms of what the group looks like. I think you could see some real potential there. I think we got two really talented guys, and then Youssef, who's developing at center. So can we get out of the center spot close to what we've been getting out of it? And then there's the guard play, like getting Hassan, getting Aiden, solo ball. Like the guards are going to have to play close to the level or at the level that we've had the guards playing at. The big wings have really look good. Is it fair to say that, I know it's only July, 10th, but I mean, Alex is going to start. But otherwise, is it fair to say the other four spots are there's a good competition everywhere? It is,
and I think this competition is obviously players that, you expect to be able to win it. Like you did when Tristan came in. He had to earn it, but you hoped he would win it, and he did. So I think you have some of those in your mind. But I do think that there's going to be real intense competition to be the fourth starter, fifth starter, first guy off the bench. It's going to be intense.
Is it good to get the Lakers stuff and the contract stuff kind of behind you now, and you can just go forward and really, looking at your team?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't thought. That's. It's not something that I obsess over. If anything, I dragged my feet because I just didn't want to look at it or read it or deal with it. So, I mean, we've been so focused on the basketball part, but it's nice that it's over.
What about having NIL and other program sort of investments? How much did you talk about that while you were talking about the contract, or just over the summer?
Yeah, I just I got such great trust with Dave. I've worked with Dave, and Dave's as responsible as any of us for where we're at. Just DB's been a great partner. So, we've had these conversations with the changing landscape of college sports, and the revenue sharing that's coming down the road here, and TV deals, and being able to take advantage and maximize our brand. Our brand is at the pinnacle of college basketball and college sports in terms of our basketball excellence here on both sides, and how do we take advantage of that to the utmost so that we don't fall behind.
Speaking of TV deals, what's your thoughts on the new deal with the Big East as far as more exposure now?
Yeah, I think the streaming stuff, I was always afraid of the streaming. And wanting to stay on TV, but I've kind of changed that mindset when football went to Amazon last year. So with how younger people now are consuming their sports and consuming what they watch, and it's a lot of it streaming. So I thought it was better. It was better than what we had.
Dan, do you have time to enjoy your success? I mean, this job has changed so much. It's 365, 24/7, but do you have time to ever enjoy the finer things? I mean, you throw a first pitch out at Yankee Stadium, stuff at Fenway, but what are some of the things you do to kind of enjoy your success? Yeah,
like moments like that. Moments like that at Yankee Stadium, that was cool. So you get like the day there, and then you'll get some weekends and stuff. But it's mostly around
like the White House trip or the parade in Hartford. But for the most part, your mind is always on some recruit or the next practice or the opener or getting you guys the non-conference schedule, which I know, like all those things, just you're constantly thinking about, and probably things when your career is over. I think that's where you want to stay so focused and so obsessed on your work that you can continue to accomplish more and more and more in your career and with the program here.
How much does it help to have someone like Dave that, he's got to do what he says he's going to do? You
Yeah.
can worry about what they brought you here to do. There's not a lot of drama that's going on here.
DB has always gotten it done. He provides us with the resources and does what he needs to do to give us the resources to compete at the top. If you don't have those resources, you can't do it. So DB, he always gets it done for us.
Do you find recruiting changing now because of the NIL and all that stuff?
I think so. I think it's the NIL, conversations are happening, a little bit earlier with prospects, and what that looks like at your school. Not with all, but with some. But we're going to stick to the type of players that we've been getting. We're not going to make the mistake of getting away from our identity or culture because we have access to higher rated players. We're still going to evaluate them the way that we evaluate players, even though there may be more players that are interested in UConn because of our success.
And you've been really publicly effusive in your praise of your assistants and promoting them as what you believe to be really great head coaches in the future. But they're in such a position now where a lot of assistants across the country would feel the need to take that first head coaching job opportunity. They obviously don't feel that way. What kind of job do you think would have to pull them? Would it have to be to pull them away?
Yeah, I just think for and I've had these conversations the last couple of years with Kamani and Luke. It's like, unless it's going to be one of the best jobs in the Atlantic 10, that their first job should be, the high end of the Atlantic 10 or a high major job for them. That's where their mindset should be, and we've made it, such a great situation for them here at UConn that they could be patient, that way. I mean, they should be high major head coaches or at the absolute top of that mid-major list of schools that makes the tournament every year and actually has the resources to win a game or two.
Does it complicate anything for them, the fact that you keep playing into April and a lot of schools finish up their recruiting process for their vacancies by that?
Yeah, but I mean, if one of those schools like the schools target people and wait, and I mean, I'm surprised. It's surprising to me that more of these ADs and search firms don't target them and wait. Just the level of basketball we've played and their influence in it, and then the types of players we have and what it looks like. It's surprising, but they're doing good.
What do you want to get accomplished this second session with your guys?
Just make sure we probably don't have any more TikTok, videos drop would probably be the first thing I was thinking about today. And then get healthy. We got a couple guys here to get healthy. Alex is back, doing stuff individually, but Liam took an ankle sprain working out in Texas, so he'll miss a couple weeks with that. So just getting these guys back on the court, getting these summer reps is so important. So we'll push these workouts back as far as we can and try to buy some time for Liam, but just get a head start. Try to work harder than what we think other programs are doing, so that we can gain a bigger advantage on people that aren't doing what we're doing this summer.
You get paid extra if your kids do more TikToks.
I mean, that may be a problem for them, but I mean, we're I don't want to. I don't want to say it.
Dave, do you miss teaching history class at all?
I enjoyed it. I love being around young people. I would get energized by going in the classroom, even if it was, some subject matter that I wasn't as familiar with. I just love being around young people. So I enjoyed being in the classroom. It's always fun to me, and just to develop like relationships with kids too that weren't on my sports team. That was kind of fun.
You were in your mid to late 30s, like 36, 37 years old when you're still a high school teacher and coach, right?
Yeah.
So like your entry point to this ascension wasn't like super early and you just fast tracked. You kind of grinded.
Yeah. Assistant high school coach, assistant college coach, and then, head high school, head low one, head mid. I've literally done it all. I've had the proper training. I think years ago, that's how coaches did train, though. I think that was a normal trajectory back, I think. That's why I think I can relate more to like the old school coaches, because that was more the way my career arc has gone.
Do Luke and Kamani voice to you their desire to become head coaches, or are they very content right now because of where this program is?
I mean, when there are places that have expressed interest in them and they've come in and mentioned those places to me, and I've told them what I thought in a non-selfish way. I don't try to hold back my coaches or my players. I want these guys, to keep progressing their career. So we talk about jobs as they've come out and they've been contacted, and
We've talked in the past about maybe the cold feet in the early days going from Rhode Island to here, some conversations you had with the guy behind you. Now that you have 2 in a row, the contract now, would you look back on that moment and what do you think about maybe what that Dan Hurley didn't know and kind of where you stand now?
Yeah, I think just the championships, the contract extensions, or whatever that looks like, that was just a byproduct of being smart enough to always try to get better as a coach every day and to listen to the best possible mentors that you can find, like Coach Calhoun, or my dad, or Gino, or anyone that I take advice from or always try to learn from. I mean, the success is just what I have now, stature-wise and financially. That's just a byproduct of every single day trying to run a championship organization, and then just every single day just trying to get better as a coach, just every aspect of it, just chasing that, pursuing it. And now this other stuff is just a byproduct of that. I never chased this.
Dan, what was it about Luke and your relationship that made you want to bring him here with you?
Like I said before, he's just obsessed. Luke's obsessed with, he this consumes his life the way it consumes my life and his family's life and my family's life. And that's the only way I think to do this job successfully here is it consumes every part of you. And he submits to that and embraces it and loves every aspect of what we do. So we have a unique connection, I think, that way, and with Kamani as well, where we love what we do, we're obsessed by it, and that's why I think fit so good.
Yeah, what did Liam show you before the injury? I've heard other players have been pretty complimentary of him. So.
Yeah, just mature approach. I think Liam's offensive game is it's impressive. It's not flawless. There's areas where he's going to have to improve, but just his readiness for this, the work ethic, the shooting, the ability to get to the rim, I think is better than we thought. There's he's his defensive end and rebounding, some of the toughness, winning play things where we're going to have to get squared away because we can't allow any of the freshmen to make us lose because of that type of stuff. But he's as ready as any freshman's come in.
Well, he was just working out at a gym back home, or
That's a story I got because from him. He called me on the 4th and at like 4 o'clock. So it's like a player calling you at 4 o'clock on July 4th is not to tell you, hey, everything's great at home. How are you, coach? You know, it's like if a coach calls you or a player, it's usually something bad. So he called me and told me he got hurt. Because I told these guys before they left, do not go live at home. Don't play in anything live. So.
And what was he doing then?
What's that?
What was he doing?
He said he was doing a workout. That was like the second thing he said. Like, I wasn't playing live, coach. I got hurt in an individual. Did you step on a cone? You know?
What were some of the bigger areas that you wanted him to improve in?
I would just say, he's got his personality. I think the fans are going to love him. I think he's got some of that fire that Cam brought to the locker room, to the group. I think he's going to bring that nasty villain. I think opposing fan bases will find him to be an acceptable villain because when he hits his shots and his team is going to win the game, he's going to let people know. He's going to play with that type of confidence and flair. So, but it's just the stuff, with all these guys, the young players, every possession is critically important, and we're going to have to teach them to play every possession like it's the like it's the most important thing ever.
What have the other newcomers shown you? Anybody stood out?
I mean, they all have. I think Ahmad, just getting through the early, like the first couple practices were tough. They're tough on guards, but they're really, he had a tough first couple of them. His resilience and response and mental toughness and his ability to learn and adapt his game was impressive. And then Isaiah, I think we felt like we had a guy coming in on a great trajectory, and he's shown to be better. Sometimes the players are what you thought they are, a little bit worse or better than you thought you were getting. He's better.
What makes him better than what you thought?
Better offensive player, better production offensively. He's got to work on the shooting and handling the ball like a guard, but he brings a lot of really good attributes.
Have you had a chance to catch Steph and Cam play so far?
Yeah, I mean, Steph's first game, that was like, it wasn't probably the best played game you'll see. So that was, but it seemed like there was more players playing in Cam's game last night that, potentially could be playing on NBA teams. That was an intense, fun game to watch, and I thought Cam could have, tried to do a little bit more off the dribble. And then obviously I was looking for some of the defensive mistakes. I'll call them today when I get in the car, and we'll talk about those. But you could see that he looked like one of the better players on the court in the game.
Still can shoot.
How important was it to get 4 guys drafted just for the program momentum and all that?
Yeah, it's helped a lot. I think obviously it helps from a recruiting standpoint, but also an underrated way it helps is the buy-in in the building with the players too. Everyone in my locker room aspires to be where those guys are. So just it's good for the internal buy-in, just to have more of that. You can never have enough of that. So that's key.
You feel a bigger target on your back for the Three-Peat, like other people for you? Too early?
No, that's bigger target. But who wouldn't want that, right? I'll take that all day. Either you feel it, you feel it. When you're out on the road recruiting, that in the lead up to the season, everyone's going to be gunning for us. But you get accustomed to that here at UConn. When we were bad, they were gunning for us. We had a target when we were bad. So.
But a Three-Peat, not any different than?
No. Yeah, I'm sure a little bit more juice to it, but we have the same. When we were bad, we had a target. Now we're really good, and we have a targets. But if you're going to beat us, you better be really good, because we don't lose to teams that aren't really good.
What's your son doing?
Yeah.
Andrew, I don't know if he's doing any formal announcements. I think he, figuring it out. He's got options. He's got, to kind of make those decisions right now on what path he wants to go in. But he's got choices.
But he won't be back, or is that?
I don't know if he's got an announcement planned. And it's not really his style. I don't want to retire him here if he has a plan. We're not on the same page.
You're working on the NIL.
What's that?
You're working on the NIL stuff with them. Is that what you're doing?
I'm going to tell you right now, where the hardest thing to do is to find like the walk-ons that, number one, you need somebody that was good enough to play, like D2, or a really good D3 player at the worst. And then they also then have to just show up every day and do all the work that no one wants to do, that they'll never get any credit for. And then the reward is we're going to put you in at the end of some games in a blowout, and then you've got to try to function in a blowout game where I may tell you can't shoot, or you could go and let it rip, and now they're not as glamorous as people think.
Well, you've got a pretty good selling point, telling them you can dribble out the clock in a national championship game if you come here.
The close are 43-0.
Of course, you probably told Andre.
What's that?
You told Andre not to shoot against who was that? Not Northwestern.
No, that was Northwestern.
It was
Northwestern.
Was it Northwestern?
One where he hit the free.
Well, that might have gotten Andre Johnson, the Division I. That might have got him in the D1 right there.
Yeah.
That might have been why Utah Valley went with him. So maybe it was he did the right thing and I was telling him to do the wrong thing. All right? All right, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you.